What would you do for the one you love? Seems to be the question they're answering with My Home Hero, but not from just one perspective, but actually two, which is actually kind of surprising to me. But My Home Hero is a series that has a premise that I'm extremely excited about, getting into a very heavy and very difficult subject on how far you're willing to go. Would you be willing to kill for the one you love? But I had two major issues when I came into the series, even before I even started, and that was one, I'm not really a fan of this writer, and two, I wasn't really sure that the people working on this were going to be able to pull it off. But it's my first impressions, the first episode of My Home Hero, a 12-episode series that is airing in the spring 2023 anime season, so let's jump right into it. My Home Hero opens up with a guy named Tetsuo Tosu, and early on it gives an indication that this guy is a writer. He's not doing very well, at least the reviews so don't seem to like his work. A lot of people claim that he's very predictable, he's sort of somebody that doesn't have his own fresh ideas, and as he's sitting at a restaurant waiting for his daughter to arrive for a quick meal, it seems to give us an indication why. He likes to read other people's works and takes a lot of notes about what's kind of successful from their work. So it seems like he's a copycat in a sense. Well, when his daughter finally arrives, she has a hat on, glasses, and a big mask. And he's like, man, when did my daughter become an idol? Well, when she goes to remove it, we kind of find that she has a ton of bruises on her face. She claims that she fell, but we all know where this is going. When Tetsuo questions his daughter about this, she quickly gets up and leaves. Well, despite the fact that it didn't seem like she wanted him to go to her new apartment, he decides to go there anyway to find out what's going on. And sure enough, he runs into his daughter's new boyfriend, Nobuto Matori. And he is just cackling about how, yes, he had to swing a few hits into this girl and got to keep her straight and all that kind of stuff. And his group of guys are just cackling along with it. And eventually Tetsuo follows them all the way to this one building. Well, some random guy grabs Tetsuo, notes that he is following Nobuto, drags him off into an alley, beats the crap out of him, strips him naked, and takes pictures of him, incriminating pictures of him, claiming that if you say anything to the police, you know what's going to happen. Obviously, this is extremely embarrassing to Tetsuo, and knowing now that his daughter is in danger, he kind of hides away at a net cafe, tells his wife, look, I just had a little accident, I'm fine, I'm at the hospital, I'm going to stay here for the night, don't worry about me. Well, next day, Tetsuo goes to his daughter's apartment, just to kind of see if he can ease his mind. The entire time in the apartment, he's just kind of thinking, that's not him. That's not her boyfriend. This is all a big misunderstanding. There's no shoes in here. Oh, wait, there's a cigarette here. It can't be him. I'm overthinking it. Well, the boyfriend shows up. The boyfriend just happened to show up. Tetsuo hides in a closet, and as he's in there, this boyfriend comes in and is just talking on the phone about how he's apparently killed several other girls before. They couldn't take a hit, and it seems like this guy on the phone cleans up after him. So he's kind of making little jokes about, yeah, that one, no, that was the one that I had a ruptured stomach or something like, oh no, that one, yeah, one blow to the head, that's all it took for her. Well, he also, during this conversation, admits that he's using Reika. He's using Tetsuo's daughter. He's just staying with Reika until he can get her grandparents' inheritance. Well, at some point, unfortunately, Tetsuo drops his phone inside the closet. You have to do something to alert the person in the room. And this kind of forces Tetsuo. Like, he has to make a decision at this point. Like, do I let this guy kill my daughter? And at the same time, now he's probably going to kill me because he knows I'm in here. So he does. He kills the guy, takes him out, and just so happens at that same time, his wife came by to visit his daughter, and she sees the whole mess on the floor. Now, here's the cool thing that I think from the perspective of the wife in this case is, we don't typically get wife characters in shows, but when she shows up, she just literally says, well, the police will understand it was self-defense, right? And he's like, well, no, this is the Yakuza we're talking about. Even if we do clear our name, the Yakuza will come after us. So she says, okay, well, if the Yakuza is really good at hiding bodies, let's hide this one too. Let's do exactly what they would do. So they decide to clean up the whole mess before the daughter gets home. Well, the mother and the daughter leave, and at the same time, currently outside is the guy that Nobuto was talking to, the guy that cleans up after him. And sure enough, they come in there to check out what's going on in the room to try to find Nobuto, and they find Nobuto's body. And our last perspective of this episode is to give an explanation of why this Nobuto guy keep messing around and leaves bodies for this Kobo guy to have to clean up after. He causes a lot of problems. Why is he still around? Well, it just so happens, it seems like the leader of this group, that's his son. Obviously, it's his son. The boyfriend, the guy the father just killed, is the son of this group of Yakuza. And it seems like he had an extreme attachment to his son. And that was kind of why I was joking at the very beginning. What would you do for the one you love? it's kind of both sides here. Yes, kind of a John Wick type of thing we're going for, I guess. So my thoughts on My Home Hero. I am of two minds here. On one end, I think this is a really cool story concept. I really like it. Yes, it's not the most original thing. There's tons, especially in Hollywood, there's a ton of, you came after my daughter, and I have to take down the organization because you hurt my daughter. That's a very common story over here. But in Japan, at least anime-wise, it's not very often. So it's a very fresh thing to kind of run into in anime. So I do have a lot of hope for this series, kind of going with this whole cat and mouse thing. Obviously, the cat's out of the bag already. The bad organization knows Nobuto's dead. And so they're going to want to find out who killed him. And right now, unfortunately, unless something happens at the beginning of the next episode, I'm sure it's going to be in the sense that they're going to think that either the mother or the daughter killed him because they knew Nobuto was in there, and they knew that the mother and the daughter left. They didn't know that Tetsuo was in there. So they're probably going to blame the daughter or the mother. And like I said, since Nobuto was very cherished by their boss, they're going to go after them, which I really wasn't expecting that. When I first seen the previews and the synopsis, I kind of assumed that they were going to hide the body and they're going to try to figure out where the body is or where he's at. But this is already out of the bag. Like I said, the organization knows that one of this family killed Nobuto. So how is Tetsuo going to keep his family safe at this point going forward is going to be a big question mark. What that kind of indicates to me is that things are going to get very hectic very fast. Unless Kubo wants him gone. That's the only big question mark. We've sort of indicated, and this might make things a lot more interesting for me, they've already kind of indicated that within this organization, Matori, the boss of this group, really loves Nobuto. But everybody else hates him because he causes problems, especially to Kubo, which again is the guy that was cleaning up after Nobuto. Kubo is a real killer. This is some guy that when he's questioned, what do you think about when you kill somebody? His immediate response is, make sure it goes without a hitch and that nobody sees me. He's a real killer. Nobuto, the son of this boss, he just, yeah, she couldn't take one hit. Clean up after me, will ya? That's him. And so I don't think Kubo likes Nobuto. When he finds out that Nobuto's dead, it's going to be twofold. One is, oh, thank goodness that kid's finally gone. I don't have to deal with them anymore. But additionally, it's going to be, crap, the boss is going to be ticked. Which direction is he going to take it? Will he just tell his boss, I don't know what happened to him. Just, kid must have run off. Or is he going to actually follow through? It almost gives a little brief indication that Kubo and Matori don't really see eye to eye. Kind of get an indication that Kubo's afraid of his boss, but at the same time his boss is afraid of him. So I'm hoping that will actually give this a decent chemistry as to the cat and mouse game that's going to come up here with, who's the killer and how do we kill this family. I did almost want there to be a little bit of a twist to Nobuto, honestly, because throughout the episode, I kind of wanted to believe Reika. It was obviously given an indication of a girl who's being abused by her boyfriend, but doesn't want anybody to know, doesn't want to anger him, but still she loved him and wished that he was different a little bit. But during the conversation between the boyfriend and Kubo, when he was talking about, cleaning up after me, I was almost wondering if he was talking about somebody else. Like he was hitting somebody else. He was talking about protection money. Like he isn't manipulating Reika, it's somebody else. And that it turns out that the father kills this guy when he wasn't actually, he was a bad person, but he wasn't that bad. But no, there's the saying that he's killed like 3 other people. Seems obvious he had to go. Or as the mother put it, someone that would put bruises on a cute girl like you should die. The mother crazy, and I love it. Don't make mama mad. But again, that's the chemistry that I really am looking forward to with this series. It's the family versus the mob. It's the mother not willing to let her daughter be harmed. It's the father who will do anything to save his daughter. But again, the big difficulty I'm having is the writer himself. I'm not a huge fan of Naoki Yamakawa. While I like a lot of aspects of I'm Standing on a Million Lives, the one core thing that I could never stand with that series is when it gets deep into the darkest places of a person's mind. When somebody is willing to kill. So when that series didn't handle that very well, it makes me believe this won't be able to handle it well either. And I'm already getting indication of that in this first episode, honestly, but I don't know if that is the fault of the adaptation. So I'm actually planning on maybe flipping through the first segment of the manga to make sure, but this episode just it didn't execute on a lot of the drama of the buildup. And it almost felt like it was trying to get through the first episode just to establish, okay, somebody dead, cover up. But the buildup of Tetsuo's anxieties of what he's going through, the build up to the decision to kill somebody, the execution of the death itself, none of it's really executed well. Like, so it's like I like the premise of this, but the execution is just failing on every level. And that's my biggest struggle here. I don't feel Tetsuo's anguish. I don't feel his connection to his daughter. They have a little section where you do kind of see that he's grown apart from his daughter because she's obviously grown up, but she still does something for his birthday. But I don't feel a connection. It got too quickly to the kill. That when it finally happens, I don't feel it. And I don't feel the frustration in him as he's doing the act. Like, it just feels like, he just killed somebody. I don't feel the anguish. I don't feel the anxiety. I don't feel the dread of it. It just goes too fast. I almost feel like so much weight of the situation could have been done so much better. But maybe that's not the point of the story. The cat and mouse game could be the story. But I can't help but feel this could have been so much more impactful. Maybe it's the music. Maybe it's the voicing. But I think in the end, it's probably the pacing. But anyhow, that's my first impressions of My Home Hero. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure that like button down below. Comment. Let me know about the episode if you're going to be checking it out. Additionally, if you're new to this channel, make sure that subscribe button so you get my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. I'll be doing the first impressions of all the shows of the season. So if you can't watch them all, you can check out my videos, get my brief idea of it, and decide from that point if it's something you want to check out. Additionally, if you like this content and you want to support the channel more, I have a Patreon link, a tips link, and a super thanks button down below. I greatly appreciate it. It supports the channel. You guys mean a lot to me, and y'all take care.